Hey, what's going on, man? It's good to see you guys again. The on this Elephant Tuesday. What a time we're having in this world, man. What a time. But I am so excited. I'm still moving. I'm still flowing in the spirit, man. Still trying to stay positive, staying focused on what God has given me to do, and staying focused on what we need to do for as American, for as people, period. And as a father, a husband, a guide, or a motivator, a life coach, um, many hats that we have to wear consistently throughout our day to keep it going. So I'm excited, man. I'm motivated to stay positive and stay motivated and going in the right direction with God on our side. So welcome. I always say welcome to the One Blood Movement of Unity Eye Opener Tuesday show. This one here is it's an eye opener, really. It's a beast in my opinion, because it really puts emphasis on fathers and their sons, aspect that we don't talk about a lot in life, and especially in the African American community. It's a headbanger in our community because we've been taught not to talk about it. We've been taught not to show emotions. We've been taught not to show our what it calls sensitive side of a human being, or a human being of a man. Period. So, for part two, a lot of great. I feel like it was really good information that I talked to a few people beforehand, and it got some good stuff, man. Some good words on identity, trying to identify our children, trying to teach them how to identify themselves. So I'm excited about it. I stay excited, y'all. I stay pumped up and stay motivated for life, because positive. I got two little girls, two sons and a wife, who really have expectations for me to do something to keep them safe, keep them fed, keep them moving through life, and guide them, and respect them. Most importantly, love them, and move forward, help them move forward with their life as much as they help me move forward mine. So it's a circle. It's a circle. It's a continuous love circle that we all should be a part of. That we all should try our best to maintain, and stay floating with it. So let me give you just for the new ones that still have not are still chiming in. I can't say the ones that have not watched, but the ones that are still chiming in. Let me give you a real quick briefing. The Eye Opener Tuesday is for conversations really based off racism, but doesn't have to be racism. It could be a real effect on people's lives that we don't talk about in public. And really, what I would love to do is bring those round table conversations that we have at home with our kids, and those ones that people don't hear. Bring those to the table, because the world needs to hear them. You're comfortable talking about them amongst yourselves, but the realm of it is, how comfortable are you with your decision that you make about those different aspects of life, what you think, and your opinion about it. How comfortable do you feel about it if you can't talk about it in public? Now, I do get it. There are certain conversations that only be had in public, for, as your family situations or whatever you may be going through in life. Certain things need to be kept secret, for you to gain wisdom on it, for you to gain knowledge on it, and gain understanding of it. The Bible always says, for all that getting, get understanding. So if you're going to gain some knowledge, you need something on it. You need to research it, read up on it, and gain. Talk to somebody who may have been through it before, may not have been through it, but just a well-rounded person, individual that can help you get through it. So that's one motivation right there that you can stay focused on. But like I say, it's the ones that cannot talk about it amongst in the world, and they have a really, they get antsy, they get closed up. They, when once you see people do something like this, they kind of close themselves off from the conversation, or they're have a different approach that they want to bring, but just can't quite get it out. It's stuff like that. That that one is like, man, I just don't understand this. I wish I could hear it from somebody else to really get an understanding, but you're just too scared for yourself to even bring it out. So that's what this show is about. That's what this show does. That's what it brings to the light. So we can actually discuss it, so we can go forward with it, man. So we can move in a mighty powerful way of Christ, and not a powerful way of ourselves. We get in the way. I've done it. I do it a lot. I've done it multiple times. Get in my way, and I'm here. I'm stuck. And man, I made a bad decision. Now I gotta go talk to my pastor. my wife, people who are highly concerned of me. So I have to get my situation handled sometimes, man. I just step in the way. I do the wrong thing. So that's what it's about. We're growing, we're growing, we're growing, we're growing. So let me recap just a little bit of last week. Last week we said identity, trying to show our sons the way that they should go for their life. Which way should they be aiming towards? Which direction should they be going? Is it wrong for us to just say, hey, you're on your own? How many times have we done that as fathers? We're the ones that set the record straight for our sons. We're the ones that give them their identity. Like I say last week, it's the same as we're not trying to hit or belittle the fathers. We're not trying to, because I've done it too. I have been on the bad decision making side as a father. I'm transparent about it. I have not made the best decisions in raising my sons on every situation. No, man, I've made some bad decisions. So for their identity, I had to bring it back to a level to where they can understand it. That it's not necessarily being just like me. It's the fact of being better than me, making better decisions than I made. But the key to it is giving them identity first. So many kids are running around here. They don't know who they are. Um, they don't have a clue. Kids that love what are the PlayStation, the games. They like to sit in the house. That's mind boggling for me because I'm one of those cats. When I grew up, it was outside, especially Saturday morning. Your hind part was up cleaning. You had to clean the whole house, and whatever the old man asked you to do or mom asked you to do, it had to be done. Grass had to be cut, and inside and outside the house. We had it both ways when we was coming through, and you had to get it knocked out. And then you got the rest of the day to do whatever you want to do. Pretty much leave mom and daddy alone unless they had somewhere for all of us to go. But other than that, man, it was night night. You were done. After your chores are done, outside and inside, man, it's fun go. And I was the one. I'm telling you that right now. I ain't no man ain't no telling how many miles I have in those woods behind my daddy house. Still to this day, it's probably the animals probably still remember me if they're my age. I'm telling you, because I stayed in the woods, I stayed outside. It was just so much, and the reason being is because my daddy stayed outside all the time. He was always doing something. And I seen that, very rarely did I see him go and sit on the couch, take his boots off. He would do that. I seen him pay bills. I seen him times where he would just sit down. It wouldn't be much. Um, but that's where I got it from. He was increasing my identity. He was letting me know who I was becoming. And not everybody's alike, and my sons aren't. My sons are not just like me, thank God. I think that they're different, but it does bother me from time to time when I don't see them outside. So I have to create something for them to do outside, get out, go adventure. We have a big open space back there full of trees. Figure out something to do with them, count the bark if you have to. Anything, you know what I'm saying? Just to get them outside. So showing them their identity, giving them who they are. The way you give them who they are is raising them in the right direction. And you say, well, what is the right direction? The right direction in my eyes is what you believe in most. How are you raised? Your moral aspect of life. We have so many kids that are they take on different vessels of life. They take on different paths of life. And by the time they get to 11th, 12th grade, they are lost. And it's our fault, fathers. It's our fault. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's our fault. When we have a child that's lost in the world, period. Because I've always said, once you have one child that crosses the path of this earth, that walks the path of this earth, that has that future of being in this earth, you're there. You have to be there. You have to try your best to show them a great example of what a good man or a man period should be like. So their identity comes from us. So when we come home, it's something I used to do um, when I was coming through, and it took me a while to get out of it. And every now and then, sometimes I still fall back in a trap of I would go outside and I would sit up under the tree and I would watch my kids play, especially my sons. They have so much energy. And I'm working 11, 12, sometimes 13-hour days back then. And still today, I still work 10, 11-hour days. And you come home, you're drained. For one, you're tired. So because you've had a long day, but I would find myself giving them the wrong identity because I would sit up under the tree, kick my feet up, watch them play, and drink beer and smoke cigarettes. You know, that's the wrong picture for them to see in my eyes. That's the wrong picture because now they're saying, I'm trying to teach them how to become themselves, trying to teach them not to be lazy, trying to teach them a hustle. And at the same token, I'm trying to teach them goal setting. But how can I teach them how to goal set? At that point in time, I'm saying this is back then. How was I teaching them how to set goals, get off work on your own entrepreneurship by sitting up under a tree drinking beer? It doesn't work that way. I mean, what they see is not what I'm teaching. So I had to revamp my own mind. This mistakes that I made. What was the identity? What was I really showing them? What was I really giving them to become a man and to become themselves? You know, when I'm motivating and speaking, one of my most messages that I love to give out the most, the one I love the most, is uniting you with you. And once you learn how to understand yourself, you can understand everybody else because you have a perspective of yourself. You have an aim for yourself. You have an ego of yourself. You have a love for yourself. You have a greater understanding of exactly who you are. So once you really get a grip of who you are, you can really relate to others' attitudes, their mood swings, how they love. You gotta learn a love language. I'm learning this now. You gotta learn a love language with your spouse. It's different. Everybody has a different love language, and you have to figure out how to get to that. It is hard for some. Some pick it up and go. For some people, it just click, and some it has to be learned. And it's not a bad thing, just as long as you're willing to learn it. So with their identity, I was doing it the wrong way, and it took me a minute. I had to realize that I'm showing them the wrong way of living. So I'm showing them, in other words, I was saying, look, go to work hard, come home, sit down, and that's it. You get up and do the same thing 5, 6 days a week. Man, that's horrible. That's a horrible feeding that I was giving my sons. A horrible feeding, knowing the ability that I have, the gift that God has given me to really uh, uh, um, water them with and shower them with wisdom and knowledge and blessings and motivate them to become their own entrepreneurship before they get out here and actually work as hard as I've worked in my life. So what mode and what mood do I set? What tone do I present to them to make them a better person, to give them their great identity for that greatness that's inside of them, instead of just saying, hey, Jesus got you, buddy, you just keep going. Well, Jesus does have them, and they will keep going as long as they keep him. But how do they keep him? How do they get to know him? By what they see me do. That's the ticket. That's the key to identity. Now, that was identity. That was last week. So I just want to recap that a little bit, just to give you, to let you know what we went over and what was discussed that last week. So this week, I want to hit a little bit touchy subject is racism. You know, racism is it's a big enemy. It's one of the biggest. And I think, to me, in my personal opinion, hatred is the most dynamic weapon that man, I should say, man um, has not figured out a way to how to contain it and demolish it. Now we know what does. It's love. Love overrides hate any given moment, any given time. That's the way you beat hate out. That's the way you take hate out. That's the way you demolish hate. That's the way you just really get rid of it. But here's the ticket. The only way you can put love in front of it and fight with it, you have to love yourself first. You have to forgive everything that's been done, everything in your past, everything in your ancestors' past, and everything that's going on in your life. You have to forgive that part of yourself and learn how to love yourself first. That's how you get rid of hate. And that's how you push love out. You got to love yourself first. If you don't love yourself, it's impossible to love me. If you don't understand yourself, it's impossible to understand me. So you have to get to that grip first before you can start really dwelling on the hate part. But being that it to me is most one of the most powerful weapons that is there was a point in my life where I was like, man, I was still young. And when I had my first son, not far out of the military, and I've never was never raised uh, to hate anyone anyway. So I was just trying to create, as I grew, as I got older, as I got wiser, trying to create ways of saying what I saw in the world in a different way to betterment for the betterment of the world and the betterment of my sons. So I would say, well, look, son, everybody's green. So don't worry about color. Don't see color. Everybody's green. Don't worry about it. Because that's my mindset. That's what I was taught. That's what I was trained. So I'm like, I got older. I love football. So with the green, being everybody green, that was a beautiful thing to me because we play on a green field. So it's war on a green field. But as I got older and older, I started realizing more wiser. I was like, wait a minute, man. It's everybody's not green. No, no, there's nobody that's green on the earth at all. I've never met one. If you have, let me know. I like to meet somebody that's green. Man, that's different. Here's the thing about it. You gotta love who you are. Period. Point blank. Nobody's green. Yeah, black, brown, white, and that's the basics. That's the basics. Everything else comes out of that. So with saying that, I betrayed them and misled them in the beginning. Now these are, I'm talking about, the TD Bopper age. They're 3 and 4 and 5. So I'm still having time to revamp their mindset and change their mindset and regrow them and retrain them, make sure they're going the right path. But nobody's green. Everybody is what color, whatever color you are, that's what you are. Be who you are and love it. There's nothing wrong with the color of your skin. Absolutely nothing. You are beautiful and wonderfully made in the image of the God that created you. So why wouldn't you want to see color? I love to see color. I love to see different shades. Doesn't bother me. I love it. It excites me. It lets me know that somebody out there is different from me. I don't want a bunch of me's running around. Man, I tell you, you got to deal with Fred every day. That's my wife. It's a struggle. You're like, wow. So you got to get that in your mindset to change that. If you're still thinking that way and you're saying, well, I don't see color. We don't need to see color. Yes, you do, because it's a difference. It is a difference in the color of my skin and yours. It's a complete difference. And there's nothing wrong with it. You got different beach sands. And you call that beautiful. You got black beaches, you got brown beaches, you got tan beaches, and you have white sand beaches. And they're all beautiful. And everybody always said, oh man, did you see that? Have you been to the beach? That's whatever color that you've been to. Don't you know where we come from? So we rather call what we walk on beautiful versus what we stand, how we stand. We can't call that beautiful. And God said it himself. You're wonderfully and beautifully made in his image. Come on now. We can do better than that. So whatever I do, yes, I did portray my sons, I believe. When I first initiated, started teaching them about life and about racism, I believe I did betray them a little bit because I was not, I wasn't fully aware and focused on and learned enough and appreciated enough of my skin color and everybody else's. So it takes a toll on you after a while when you really dig deep and you realize, wait a minute, I'm not mad with who I am. I appreciate who I am. I love who I am. I'm gonna move forward with who I am. And with all that being said, man, with our sons, it was one cat. Let me tell you the story. And I've said it before, but let me tell you again. I love it because it's educational on both sides. It's educational from both ends. I got a fireman, he's a good buddy of mine. His son messed around, never heard the word N-word before, never been used around him, completely, novice to it. Just just don't know it at all, which is a beautiful thing to a degree. Now, he goes to school, hears it in a song, uses it towards another individual, not knowing, don't have a clue that it's a bad word. And he gets, he gets called into the office and all that kind of stuff, and they have to go through the shebang. And his father, he calls me and say, "Hey man, I'm actually really proud of my son, uh, because he didn't know." And it was like he said, "I'm proud of myself because my wife and we don't use that terminology, and we didn't teach our sons that terminology." That's great. I mean, I'm serious, man. I'm not mad with it. It's that's a beautiful thing that you don't even that you don't float like that. You don't believe in them type of, the way he was raised. He didn't believe in that. He believed in it was a better way to treat a man and of character. But here's the niche. Here's the flaw to it. And it's a sad one, but it's very true. And like I say, it's educational on both sides. This side is still great because the kid just didn't know what the N word means and what it stood for, and he used it, but he didn't mean to. He didn't know no better, and the father was proud of the kid and for himself because the simple fact the kid just didn't know. So he's ignorant to the fact of, and he's novice to whatever the word ever meant or ever been said. The father never used the terminology in his household and around his kitchen table. So it was a proud moment for that family, that for them to realize, what, we're not racist. We're common folk. We good people. You know what I'm saying? We can relate to anybody and everybody, and we try to do the best we can do to get along. Man, that's a beautiful. It is. It really is, and it's educational on that side. The other educational side of it, where I really believe we have faulted in, is the fact that the kid didn't know the word, didn't know what it meant. Imagine growing up to 17, 18, 19 years of age, where hands-on actions take place for such language. And he doesn't have a clue, nothing about the word, anything, and uses it in the wrong way and in the wrong path, and be amongst the wrong crowd, and somebody hears it and commits hands-on action, and he's looking really lost because he didn't know. That's our fault as fathers and as men in this world. When we don't teach our kids the racism that is here, that is going on, what are we really preparing them for? Are we preparing them for false altercations that's coming up in their future? Are we preparing them for a vision that they will be completely lost in once they get out there? I'm telling my sons now, and I've been talking to them for a while as a black man. Not every cop is bad. Um, Not every individual to me is bad, but it's a lot of them out there that are. And if I don't give them the rhythm and teach them the rules of when they're being stopped or pulled over by a police officer, I'm liable not to see them come home that night. But if I just didn't teach them and they just went out there and, my sons are pretty cool. They're pretty respectful, in my opinion. But, to me, no parent knows their child 100%. I don't care who you are. I guarantee you, no parent knows their child 100%. I don't care who you are. That doesn't happen. There is always it's a little bit in there that you just don't know, and you would think, well, no, right there that they could fall in, being out there in the world and never known nothing about it, and fall into that trap and become very hurt. And then when they get back to you, they might ask, well, Dad, why didn't you never tell me about this? To me, in my opinion, we betrayed our sons when we don't tell them the truth about racism, about really what's going on in this world. We're not preparing them fully. Now I know some things we're going to miss, and they're going to learn on their own. We did. My father. I mean, it's just things that you just miss, that you wish you could have caught it. You wish you could have told them, but we just, from other great men out there in the world and other situations that happen out there in the world. So But my thing is give them the basics as much as you can and elaborate on it as much as you can because it's really real. Racism is a depth. It's something that's embedded in the United States and across the world, but the United States is like really it's embedded in the United States. And the only way we can get rid of it is to educate. God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. I don't want my sons perishing because of my foolishness that I didn't give them. Trying to show them just everything is peachy cream. Man, it's not. It's a lot of foolishness out here in this world. It's a lot of hate towards uh, different ethnic groups. And really, there's no reason for it. And we can say that all day long. But the depth of it and the truth of it is, whatever reason that they have a reason for it. And we have to be fathers and really dig into them and really show them, give them their identity so they can understand when they come up against it, they're strong enough to hold on to what they have inside of them, the greatness in them, and overcome it without violence and be able to stand up to it in a positive way and not a negative way. That's the key to really teaching our sons how to become a man in this world today. We got to spend that negative thought time with them. That time that we don't like them, those words we don't like to share with them, those stories we really don't like to put on them, those acts of life that we've seen, the times I've been racially profiled. I'll tell you the times that a cop stopped me and asked me, did I have a grenade launcher in my pocket, man? That that's unbelievable. But you have to express those type of stories to your sons. Firemen go through so much. Kudos to them. Kudos to the good cops. Firemen, I've talked to a lot of firemen. They go through. They see things that I just don't want to ever. I don't even want to know some of the things that they tell me, the stories, and it's our responsibility. Those wicked stories, those gruesome, I should say, not wicked, but those gruesome stories that you share with your brotherhood, we should be sharing them with our sons. And I know it's different age levels, just like women, the birds and the bees. And I started birds and the bees when my boy was 5 and 6 years old, 7. Mm, thank God for deliverance. What I've been through, I don't want them. I don't want them going through. So I started that really early, early age, and really just I've been talking about it since then. I don't mind with my sons. Now I'm having a hard time trying to get my head together to do it with my girls, though. I can't lie to you, y'all. Y'all pray for me. Those of y'all know the word of prayer, pray for me, because that's a hard one. Woo. I don't, I don't know. We'll pray on that one. We'll pray on that one. That'll be a different one. That'll be a different. Mommy, hope mommy gets that one and sticks with it. But man, I tell you, we do what we can do. We do what we can do. But on the rhythm, teach them identity. Let's not betray our sons anymore. Let's get in this world and show them the realm of the world, not the fake side, not the side that we want them to see, not the side we want to give them, but the natural, raw truth, the rawness of this world, and not rob them and have them sit and duck in the middle of a pond, not knowing where, why, when, and how. We don't want to do that to our sons. We've done that enough, and I think that's why we're in the predicaments that we are in now in this country. Uh, Being how hype the racism has went up over the last 3 years, it's amazing. It's truly amazing the verbiage that is used nowadays towards different people. It's ah, it's amazing to me. It's amazing. I love constructive criticism, but I don't think you have to belittle anybody to get and call that constructive criticism. I don't believe that. I think you can do it a different way. I think you can do it a loving way and be very respectful of it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to the Eye Opener Show, man. I hope you were blessed with this. I hope you loved it. I want to leave you with this right here. Take care of yourself. This COVID-19, I don't know the full scoop of this thing or scope of it. All I know is I have 4 children and a wife to protect and take care of that God has given me. And I put them in his hands and I pray for them consistently and continuously, and everyone else in the world as well. But what I'm saying is take precaution, be real. I don't know it. Nobody does. That's not in the higher realm of what's going on with this virus. We don't really know, family. So if it's something that I really don't know, I've always been trained to take precaution towards it until I find out what it really is. Please be safe out there. Please be safe out there. And while you're being safe, fathers with your sons, teach them and guide them. This is something big you need to work on, especially with this Corona, COVID-19 coming through like it is. Give them the realm of it. Give them the ethic side of it. That whatever your thoughts may be, and then give them the spiritual side of it. Give them the raw deal. Give them the politics side of it. Give it all. That's what we're supposed to do as fathers, is give our sons all of it. We'll do a daughter show, daughter and father son show. I mean, daughter and son show. What is this? Father and daughter show. One day, let me get it right. I'm gonna get it right. Father and daughter show. We'll do that one day too. But I really want to emphasize with fathers and sons, man, because it's so important that we teach our sons, men. It's so important. You know, even Christ went to the Father. He told his mom, he told Mary and Joseph at 12 years old, don't you know about my father's business? When they left him, when they went to Jerusalem and they left him there, he was in there studying 2 or 3 days, I guess, and they come back looking for him all scared, you know, and all that. And he was like, yo, don't you know about my father's business? So even Christ catered everything to the Father. Everything that we do goes to the Father. It's our responsibility. We got to step up as men and be fathers across the board. Be blessed, be safe. You know, One Blood loves you. Be smooth out there. Y'all take it easy. Please be safe. Be safe. I love you with the love of Christ. Be cool. Be safe out there. Talk to you soon. All right.